When the Texas power grid collapsed in 2021, families burned their furniture just to survive the night. FEMA has quietly updated their cold weather survival checklist, and what they're recommending might surprise you, because it's not about expensive gear or survivalist bunkers. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the 9 essential items FEMA says you need to survive a winter blackout, plus 3 bonus items that could save your life. These aren't theoretical tips, they're proven, practical, and many are probably already in your home. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to protect yourself and your family when the grid goes down and the temperature drops. Welcome to Prep Pantry, where we break down real-world survival strategies that actually work. If you're serious about being prepared, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss critical information that could make all the difference when disaster strikes. Let's talk about what really happens when winter blackouts hit. Most people think it's just an inconvenience. You lose power, you bundle up, you wait it out. But the reality is far more dangerous. When your heating system fails, your home can lose heat at an alarming rate. Those cozy blankets and decorative candles you rely on, they offer almost no protection against a real Arctic blast. The danger isn't just about being uncomfortable. We're talking about hypothermia, confusion, and a slow decline in both physical health and mental clarity. Recent disasters in Texas and across the Midwest showed us exactly how quickly desperation sets in. Families who never imagined themselves in survival situations found themselves tearing apart their homes, burning whatever they could find just to generate a little warmth. Here's the critical mindset shift you need to understand. You're not trying to heat your entire house. That's impossible without power, and attempting it wastes precious resources. Instead, your goal is to keep your body warm, your mind sharp, and your immediate environment secure. Focus on heating yourself, not your square footage. This single concept is the foundation of everything else we're about to cover. So let's dive into the first essential item on FEMA's updated checklist. Most people dismiss battery-powered heat devices as overpriced gimmicks, marketing toys that look cool but don't deliver when it counts. But in an actual blackout situation, these devices become absolute game changers. We're talking about rechargeable hand warmers, battery-heated vests, and heating adapters that work with power tool batteries. These devices are specifically designed to keep your core temperature stable when traditional heating fails. Instead of wasting energy trying to warm an entire room, you're applying targeted heat exactly where your body needs it most: your chest, your back, your hands. What makes these devices so valuable is that they're small, targeted, and scalable. One fully charged heat pack can provide hours of consistent warmth, and you can rotate it among family members as needed. Unlike burning furniture or lighting multiple candles, battery-powered heat is remarkably safe. There's no smoke filling your lungs, no carbon monoxide poisoning risk, and no chance of starting an accidental fire. Here's how to use them effectively. Stock up on multiple rechargeable warmers and keep extra battery packs charged and ready. Consider investing in a heated vest for extended warmth that covers your core body area. And here's a pro tip: use these devices under blankets to stretch the battery life even further. The insulation traps the heat against your body, making each charge last significantly longer. Remember the fundamental principle: survival is about heating yourself, not your square footage. Now let's talk about blankets, but not the kind you're thinking of. Not all blankets are created equal, and this distinction could literally save your life. Those soft fleece throws you curl up with on the couch, they might feel cozy during a normal winter evening, but they're nearly useless when the temperature plummets and the grid fails. FEMA specifically recommends what we call fortress blankets, heavy-duty materials that don't just sit on your body, but actively trap and hold heat. Think heavy wool, military-grade synthetic materials, or rugged thermal layers with dense weaves. These aren't decoration, they're survival equipment. A true fortress blanket does far more than keep you warm at night. It becomes a versatile tool in your survival arsenal. You can use it as ground cover to prevent heat loss through cold floors. You can wedge it into windows and doorways to block icy drafts. You can even use heavy blankets to section off a single room, conserving heat in a smaller, more manageable space. The science behind this is simple but powerful. Dense weaves capture pockets of warm air close to your body and create insulation that lasts. It's the same principle behind high-quality winter clothing, just scaled up. When the grid fails and your heating system dies, your blanket literally becomes your armor against the cold. Choose substance over style. The pretty fleece throw might match your living room decor, but when you're fighting to stay warm, you want the heavy, practical blanket that performs under pressure. Here's something most people completely overlook. Your windows are working against you.
Every single window in your home is a massive heat leak, especially during a winter blackout. Glass panes, no matter how nice they look, allow heat to escape at an alarming rate. Without proper protection, your windows will turn your home into an icebox faster than almost anything else. This is where thermal window shields become absolutely essential. These are heavy coverings and multi-layer barriers specifically designed to block heat loss and stop icy drafts from pouring into your living space. And here's the good news. You don't need expensive custom-made solutions. Old-school methods work incredibly well. Quilts hung over windows, thick blankets secured with tension rods, even layers of newspaper sandwiched between cloth and glass. The Department of Energy has confirmed through testing that properly insulated window covers can reduce heat loss by up to 40%. 40%. That's not a small improvement. That's the difference between maintaining livable temperatures and suffering through dangerous cold. You can create DIY window shields using blankets, foam boards, or reflective insulation material. Some people create removable panels using cardboard frames covered with cloth and insulation. Others use multiple layers, a sheet of plastic, an air gap, then a heavy blanket. The key is creating barriers that trap air and block radiant heat loss. Here's the critical part. You need to fortify your windows before the blackout hits. Once the power is already out and the temperature is dropping, you're working against the clock. Prepare these shields now, store them where you can access them quickly, and know exactly how you'll deploy them when needed. Think of it as defense first. Protect the glass, and you protect your body. Now we need to talk about independent heat sources, equipment that works regardless of what's happening with the power grid. When the electricity dies, fuel-powered radiant heaters become your primary line of defense. We're talking about propane heaters, kerosene heaters, and catalytic models that provide infrared warmth. These heaters work differently than central heating systems. Instead of warming the air in a room and hoping that warm air reaches you, radiant heaters emit infrared heat that warms your body directly. It's the same sensation you feel from sunlight, direct, immediate warmth that doesn't depend on air temperature. Emergency shelters and disaster response teams rely heavily on these heaters because they're reliable and effective. But they do require careful, responsible use. Proper ventilation is non-negotiable. Even heaters designed for indoor use produce combustion byproducts that need to escape. Keep flammable materials well away from the heat source. And choose models with built-in safety features like oxygen depletion sensors and automatic tip-over shutoffs. Stock extra fuel before winter arrives. Propane canisters, kerosene containers, whatever your heater requires. And here's something most people neglect. Actually learn how to use your heater before disaster strikes. Read the manual. Practice setting it up. Understand the safety protocols. In the middle of a crisis, when you're cold and stressed, is not the time to figure out unfamiliar equipment. In a blackout, off-grid heat isn't a luxury or a convenience, it's survival. Let's shift focus to something equally critical: food. Hunger during an emergency is insidious. It doesn't just make your stomach growl, it weakens you physically and mentally, making it significantly harder for your body to stay warm. Your metabolism needs fuel to generate heat. Without adequate food, your body's ability to maintain core temperature drops dramatically. This is why FEMA emphasizes the absolute necessity of shelf-stable survival meals. Freeze-dried food packs, MREs, that's meals ready to eat, and high-calorie ration bars. These aren't regular pantry items. They're specifically engineered for emergency situations. The genius of these food kits is their simplicity. They don't require refrigeration, so they won't spoil when the power goes out. Many don't require cooking. Some can be eaten straight from the package, while others need only a small amount of water. And they have incredibly long shelf lives. Quality freeze-dried meals can last 25 years when properly stored. Here's how to build your survival pantry. Focus on protein-heavy pouches and calorie-rich bars that provide maximum energy with minimum preparation. Rotate your stock annually. Use the oldest items first and replace them with fresh supplies. Store some food in a ready-to-go emergency bag and keep additional supplies in your basement or storage area. Diversify your storage locations so you have options if you need to shelter in different parts of your home. Emergency food isn't about gourmet taste or culinary experience. It's about energy and survival. When you're cold and facing an uncertain situation, those calories represent your body's ability to keep fighting. Now let's address what happens when darkness falls. Most people's first instinct is to grab flashlights and rely on phone batteries for light. That works for a few hours, maybe one night if you're lucky. But flashlight batteries drain quickly, and phone batteries are precious resources you need for communication. This is where old-school kerosene lamps prove their worth. A traditional kerosene lamp provides steady, reliable light for 10 to 20 hours on a single fill.
That's not a typo. One fill can last through multiple nights. They also provide a small but meaningful amount of secondary heat, and in some cases, you can even use them to warm small amounts of food or water. Safety is crucial with any open flame. Keep lamps well away from curtains, bedding, and any flammable materials. Ensure proper ventilation, since kerosene combustion produces fumes. Store your fuel safely in approved containers away from living areas and heat sources. But beyond the practical benefits, there's a psychological component that's often overlooked. A steady lamp flame cuts through the darkness in a way that flashlights can't match. It provides a focal point, a sense of normalcy, a feeling that you're in control. That psychological boost keeps morale intact while you're waiting for daylight or for power restoration. Darkness does more than hide your surroundings. It affects your mental state. Steady, reliable light is a survival tool for your mind as much as your eyes. Here's a scenario that plays out in every extended blackout. Your electric stove is useless. Your microwave is dead. Your oven won't heat. And after the first day, hunger combines with cold to create a truly miserable situation. This is exactly why FEMA recommends survival-grade multi-fuel stoves. These compact, portable stoves are designed to run on multiple fuel types: propane, kerosene, butane, white gas, or even twigs and small branches if you have the right model. They're built for extreme conditions, and they perform when modern conveniences fail. Why does this matter so much? Hot food does more than satisfy hunger. It boosts morale dramatically. It keeps you mentally engaged and hopeful. Cold food, eaten day after day, drains hope and energy faster than you'd expect. There's something fundamental about a hot meal that tells your brain and body that you're gonna be okay. Choose a stove that accepts multiple fuel types. This gives you flexibility and backup options. Learn to use it safely, always with proper ventilation, before you're in an emergency. And keep extra fuel on hand, stored safely according to manufacturer recommendations. Don't wait until you're shivering over uncooked food, desperately trying to figure out equipment you've never used before. The ability to cook, to boil water, to prepare hot meals, these capabilities keep you alive in ways that go beyond simple nutrition. Now let's talk about an item that might seem simple but delivers outsized impact: thermal insulated bottles. These aren't trendy accessories or lifestyle products. In a survival situation, they become critical tools. A high-quality, double-wall, vacuum-sealed stainless steel thermos can keep boiling water hot for hours, sometimes even overnight. Think about what that means. You can boil water while you still have heat or fuel, fill your thermal bottles, and then have access to hot liquid for the next 12 to 24 hours. Here's an old-school trick that emergency preparedness experts swear by. Fill a thermal bottle with hot water and tuck it into your bed covers. It provides hours of steady, gentle warmth exactly where you need it most. It's like having a personal heating pad that requires no electricity and no batteries. Thermal bottles also solve another critical problem. They prevent liquids from freezing. When temperatures drop dangerously low, regular water bottles will freeze solid, leaving you without drinkable water. Insulated bottles maintain liquid temperature, ensuring you have access to water or warm broth when you need it. Dehydration and cold stress are silent threats. Many people don't realize they're becoming dehydrated in cold weather because they don't feel as thirsty. But your body still needs fluids, and in cold conditions, warm liquids are even more important. A sip of hot water, broth, or tea can restore circulation and core temperature almost instantly. Keep multiple thermal bottles on hand. Fill them with hot water before a predicted blackout. Use them both for drinking and as portable heat sources. It's simple technology that delivers complex benefits. Now let's focus on something that emergency medicine professionals know well. When the cold becomes truly vicious, your core temperature is what matters most. Your body will sacrifice extremities, fingers, toes, even your nose, to protect vital organs. That's why protecting your core is the absolute priority. This is where body warmers become essential survival tools. Chemical warmers, rechargeable heat patches, and adhesive strips might seem small, but they're incredibly powerful when used correctly. Place them on your chest, your lower back, or directly over your kidneys to keep vital organs warm and functioning. Body warmers interrupt the dangerous slide toward hypothermia. Emergency shelters and disaster response teams have documented that families with access to body warmers stay significantly healthier and avoid serious cold-related illness. It's not about comfort, it's about maintaining the core temperature your body needs to function. Here's how to use them strategically. Stock up on both chemical warmers and rechargeable options. Stash them in your emergency kits, in your car, in multiple locations so you always have access. When the temperature drops, use them wisely. Don't waste them on extremities when your core needs protection. Focus on keeping your chest, back, and kidney area warm.
When your core is protected, your body can better maintain circulation to your extremities. But if your core temperature drops, nothing else matters. Body warmers aren't luxuries. They're not optional. In a true winter emergency, there's survival tools that can mean the difference between maintaining health and sliding into dangerous hypothermia. Now let's talk about your extremities, your fingers, toes, and yes, even your nose. These are the first body parts to suffer in extreme cold, and losing function in your hands and feet creates a cascade of problems. When your fingers are too cold, you can't grip tools properly. You can't manipulate emergency equipment. You can't cook or perform basic survival tasks. When your feet are freezing, walking becomes difficult and unsafe. Emergency hand and foot warmers are small, lightweight, and can provide hours of targeted heat. Some are single-use chemical warmers that activate when exposed to air. Others are reactivatable gel packs that can be used dozens of times. The best models last up to 12 hours on a single activation. Cold extremities don't just hurt, they weaken you physically and mentally. Frostbite can turn a survivable night into a medical emergency. Even without reaching frostbite levels, severely cold hands and feet make everything harder and drain your energy faster. Here's your action plan. Keep extra warmers in your emergency bag, in your car, in your coat pockets. Rotate your stock annually to ensure they're fresh and functional. Combine warmers with heavy socks, insulated gloves, and layered clothing for maximum effectiveness. The principle is simple. Don't let cold gain the upper hand. When you protect your extremities alongside your core, you maintain full functionality. You stay capable, alert, and able to respond to challenges. Warmers are a small investment that pays enormous dividends when you're facing extreme cold. In a blackout, communication becomes critical. Your phone stops being just a convenience. It becomes a genuine lifeline. But what happens when the power is out for days and your phone battery dies? You lose access to emergency services, weather updates, news about power restoration, and contact with family members. This is exactly why a compact solar battery charger is such a valuable addition to your emergency kit. These devices ensure you can power communication devices, flashlights, and even some small heaters for multiple days without access to grid power. Modern solar chargers are surprisingly effective. They're small, often foldable for easy storage, and they work even on cloudy days, though obviously less efficiently than in direct sunlight. Paired with high-capacity battery packs, they provide continuous renewable energy as long as daylight exists. Here's how to use them strategically. Pair your solar charger with multiple battery packs and USB hubs so you can charge several devices simultaneously. During a blackout, ruthlessly limit non-essential device use.
No social media scrolling, no video watching, no unnecessary apps. Preserve battery life for critical communications. Charge devices before nightfall and rotate through your battery packs to maintain a reserve. The psychological component here is massive. Isolation is a hidden danger in winter emergencies. When you're cut off from information and unable to contact the outside world, fear and uncertainty multiply. A charged phone keeps you connected to emergency services that might be able to help. It provides weather updates so you know when conditions might improve. It maintains your link to family and community support networks. Don't underestimate how much communication matters in a crisis. Here's a strategy that disaster response professionals use, but most homeowners never consider. When your home loses heat and you can't warm the entire structure, create microenvironments, small, contained spaces that trap heat and block drafts. Emergency shelter materials make this possible. Heavy-duty tarps, thick plastic sheeting, rope, duct tape, and collapsible poles allow you to literally build temporary barriers inside your home. You can't realistically warm 3,000 square feet with limited resources, but you can warm a single room or create a tent-like space within a room. Here's how it works. Hang tarps to create temporary walls, effectively sectioning off part of your home. Drake plastic sheets over windows for extra insulation beyond what your window shields provide. Build a small tent structure inside your living area using poles and thermal materials. With fortress blankets, body warmers, and concentrated heat sources, you create a thermal pocket that's actually survivable. This approach is based on solid physics. Smaller spaces require less energy to heat. Contained spaces prevent drafts and heat loss. Concentrated warmth in a microenvironment is far more effective than dissipated warmth in a large space. Include tarps, rope, and duct tape in your emergency kit. Keep foldable poles available for instant setup. And here's the important part. Train your household to deploy these shelter materials quickly. Practice before an emergency. Make sure everyone knows the plan. When the power goes out and the temperature is dropping, you need to work as a team with a clear strategy.
Focus heat where you need it most, create barriers against the cold, and you extend survival even in prolonged blackouts. Let's pull all of this together. FEMA's cold weather checklist isn't about panic or paranoia. It's about smart, layered protection against the invisible dangers of winter: hypothermia, hunger, darkness, and isolation. The 9 essential items plus 3 bonus recommendations create an integrated system, not just a pile of gear. Think of it as layers of defense. You start with body warmers and thermal bottles to protect your core temperature and provide immediate warmth. Add fortress blankets and window shields to insulate your environment and prevent heat loss. Deploy fuel-powered heaters and multi-fuel stoves for active warmth and the ability to prepare hot food. Keep emergency meal kits and water supplies ready so hunger and dehydration don't weaken you. Ensure reliable lighting and communication with kerosene lamps and solar chargers. Prepare shelter materials to create heat-trapping microenvironments when your entire home becomes unlivable. Each layer supports the others. Each item addresses a specific threat. Together, they create redundancy. If one system fails, others provide backup. But survival isn't just physical. It's mental and psychological. Darkness, hunger, and cold don't just threaten your body, they erode morale, discipline, and hope. This is where the psychological benefits of your preparation become crucial. Steady light from a kerosene lamp provides comfort and normalcy. Hot food boosts spirits and gives you something to look forward to. Reliable communication prevents the despair of isolation. When your mind stays strong, your body follows. Proactive preparation is everything. Don't wait for weather forecasts predicting the first major snowstorm. Don't wait for news reports about grid vulnerability. Start now. Stock up on the essentials we've covered. Train your household in emergency procedures. Show your family how each piece of equipment works. Run practice drills if possible. Rotate supplies annually. Check expiration dates on food. Test your heaters and stoves. Replace batteries and fuel.
Verify that your solar chargers work and your thermal bottles seal properly. Preparation isn't a one-time event, it's an ongoing practice. The items FEMA recommends aren't exotic or expensive. Most are affordable and practical. Many you might already own but haven't thought about in a survival context. A heavy blanket becomes a fortress blanket. A thermos becomes a life-saving heat source. The difference is mindset and preparation. Winter's bite is relentless, but with the right preparation, you can face it head-on with confidence. FEMA's checklist is built on decades of experience and real-world disasters. These aren't theoretical recommendations. They're proven strategies that have saved lives when the grid failed and the temperature dropped. Remember the fundamental principle that ties everything together. Survival isn't about fighting the elements with brute force. You're not trying to overpower winter or beat the cold through sheer determination. It's about smart, strategic defense. Heat yourself, not your entire house. Insulate your immediate environment. Protect your core temperature. Maintain morale through light, hot food, and communication. Stay connected to the outside world. Create microenvironments when the larger space becomes unlivable. With these tools and tactics, you'll be ready for whatever winter throws your way. You won't be the family burning furniture in desperation. You won't be making frantic decisions in the middle of a crisis. You'll be prepared, equipped, and confident. These 12 items form your defense against winter's invisible dangers. Don't wait for the grid to fail. Don't wait for the next major storm to realize you're unprepared. Start building your winter survival system today. Stock the essentials. Train your household in emergency procedures. Show your family how each piece of equipment works. Run practice drills if possible. If this video helped you understand what real winter preparedness looks like, hit that like button and share it with family and friends who need this information. Subscribe to Prep Pantry so you never miss critical survival strategies that could make all the difference. And drop a comment below. Let us know which item from FEMA's checklist you're adding to your emergency kit first. Stay safe, stay prepared, and stay warm.